Okay, we're back. We're not going to play that again. It caused my computer to freeze up twice, so there must have been some kind of bug in that video. Anyway, I'll give you the brunt of it, and then we're going to, the second half of the show, we will be taking your questions because we've really been done. We're done with the videos for tonight. The rest of the show, we're going to go about another 10 minutes, 15. We're going to take your questions. Clinton was basically saying that the country is set for 24 years, and the problem in the country is all this bickering and tearing down of the country, but he doesn't mention the tearing down by the Dems. It's all the MAGA. He's blaming Trump's people for the conspiracy theories and the problems of the country. He's not taking any responsibility for that at all, and so forth. All right. Now, I know that some of you are back with us, some of you are not. We're sorry we lost you. I'm not sure if we're still, we got nearly 68 people on X, 15 in Facebook. Sometimes Facebook we don't lose. So I'm going to come over here to Facebook tonight. If you've got a question or a comment tonight, I'm going to read your comments. I'm going to go to Facebook first because I got a feeling I've got more comments over here than I've got anywhere. It's good to see everybody tonight. And Dennis Floyd says, I saw on a conservative podcast that the Russians have ships headed to the Caribbean. What have you heard? Dennis, I'm glad you brought that up. I have heard that. Breitbart reported that tonight. The Gateway Pundit has reported that. That is correct. That is correct. That's a story we're following. When James Akers comes on next week, we're going to ask him about that. Brad Johnson and him are going to be coming back on together, hopefully. But yes, they have done that. They have done that. And that's truth, Dennis, and very troubling indeed. Very troubling indeed. And it's a good question. Corey Aguilar says, these didn't age well. No, they didn't, Corey. No, they didn't. No, they didn't at all. For that at all. And so forth. All right. Now, let's see here. I'm trying to get, there we go. A couple of other questions. Roger Hooker says, gas prices averaging $3.49 a gallon in Virginia. I was paying $1.69 in Virginia when Trump left office. All of us were. Janice Tillman says, gas is down because Biden is draining the petroleum reserves to gain voters. Gas will go back up when he reaches the bottom of the barrel. Lena says, yes, we have been in a recession. They've changed the definition so they wouldn't have to admit it. That's a good point, Lena. Roger says, most of the new jobs are part-time. This could be a blessing for those who need extra jobs to make ends meet. Roger, that's very, very true, buddy. And it's good to see everybody in Facebook tonight. Y'all are probably got more questions. If you got a question for me, put it in the house real quick. This is our part 2 of the segment. Rebecca, who do you think I think Trump will pick as vice president? Well, I don't know. I don't know. There was somebody that I saw earlier in the chat tonight basically saying Tim Scott. It may be Tim Scott. I don't know. I have no idea. He's got to pick him soon. They got the convention coming up here in July, and I don't know. That's really a good question. I have no idea. I really have no idea, my friend. But whoever he picks, I'm sure it'll be a good pick. I hope it is. I think it's important. I think it's one of the most important things he's going to be having to do. And hang on just a second, folks. Let me fix my mic. One of the reasons our mic was a little hot tonight, the settings that got messed up. Hopefully that will fix that a little bit. I apologize. Devil's just sort of fought this tonight. Charlotte, regarding Garland, have you ever done a deep dive on him? Charlotte, I don't care to. He's a liberal douche. I don't mean to use that word, but he was the one that Mitch McConnell stopped from getting on the Supreme Court right before Trump left. Or Trump got elected, I should say, right before Obama left. They're all wicked and evil. And I don't care to do a deep dive on them. I don't have to. Look, the left, the deep dive don't do us any good. We'll waste our time going on the deep dive. I don't care about the deep dive. What I do care about is justice. And what I do care about is that if he's going to stick his middle finger up to Congress, and Fauci sticks his middle finger up, and Hunter Biden sticks his middle finger up, and they put Steve Bannon in jail, then it don't matter what the deep dive is, you've got an unjust justice system. And no matter how much deep we dive, it ain't going to change that. Nothing against your question, Charlotte, but no, I haven't done a deep dive, and I really don't care to. He's evil, and he's unjust, and he is a dictatorial attorney general. He's behind this Trump thing. He's behind everything that they're doing to Trump. He's behind it. And he's the one that's protecting Hunter Biden. He's the one that's protecting the left. He's protecting Joe Biden. Look, the whole thing about this subpoena is the Hur tapes. They do not want those tapes out in the public before the election. Because if we listen to what Joe Biden told Mr. Hur on those tapes, it will shock the country. I guarantee you, and Hur is sort of responsible for this too, because he was unwilling to release those tapes. And he needs to. But anyway, Jake, franchise, good to see you, man. It is a nice, I do like this hat. Joanne says the first trans in the Miss USA contest was from Nevada in 21. I don't doubt that. Jody, good to see you tonight. He says, Chris, I heard riot fencing is currently going up around the White House. Do you know anything about this? I have not. Jody, I don't doubt it. I've not heard anything about that. I did hear about the Russia troops being sent, or the subs being sent to the Caribbean. That is troubling, folks. That's not good. But what's more scary to me is that our country, our government would not do anything to stop that. We're provoking Russia, folks. We're provoking them. Look, I don't trust the Russians. I'm not saying the Russians are legit. And I don't trust Putin past this screen, which is right here in front of me. I don't trust him. But we've not helped the matters here in America by what we've done with our actions toward him. And through this Ukrainian situation, we have provoked him to do some of the things he's done. Now, I know there'll be people out there that's saying, well, that's just BS, McDonald. We've not provoked him to do nothing. Well, you're entitled to your opinion. I'm entitled to mine. And it is my opinion we have provoked him to do this. And I think these warmongers in D.C., they are salivating. They are salivating for a war right now. Because they've not had one. Trump wouldn't give him one. And Biden's done everything he can to get us in a conflict. We're in conflicts already. We're going to talk to James and Brad about that. Susan, if New York trial is truly called out as a mistrial, could that end all of those lies and that trash? Susan, they can, if it's a mistrial, they can do it again. No, a mistrial, they can retry him. The only way that you can't trial him again if he was declared not guilty. And this kind of situation would lend more to a mistrial than it would be for them to say, well, we're going to just cancel the case. Now, I may be wrong about that. Again, that's above my pay grade with this legality of this stuff. I don't know. And ultimately, the juror posting it on Facebook may not mean a thing. But it is intriguing that Mershon himself sent the letter to Trump's attorney. So he's aware of it. And I think that was damage control. That's my opinion. But if they declare mistrial, if they would have declared a mistrial, it would have been up to Bragg to bring it again. It won't clear the trash. No, they're going to keep bringing the trash. They're going to keep bringing the trash till November. By the way, I haven't talked about it tonight. The Georgia Supreme Court has paused the Fannie Willis case indefinitely until some appeals are being made. And I think what they're waiting for is this immunity claim case before the Supreme Court to be rectified. And that will be rectified soon. So we'll be following that story next week too. Rosemary says the fencing was up in D.C. because of a Palestine protest that was scheduled for today. Well, Rosemary, if it is, so be it. They get what they deserve. The Palestinians are protesting in D.C. and the White House has sponsored them and backed them, so whatever. I'm surprised the media has not picked up on that, but I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that a bit. Any questions from Facebook? Any questions on Facebook tonight? Y'all was asking a bunch and then you stopped. If you got any more questions on Facebook, let me know. Good to see everybody in Facebook tonight. I apologize for the little technical glitch tonight. We hadn't had those in a long time. That Clinton video was cursed. I should have brought an exorcist. I should have called up Brad Johnson or Elvis or somebody and said, y'all need to exorcise the demons on this Clinton video, man. Goodness gracious. I want to play that again. It was on Instagram somewhere, on those reels, so it's probably out there. You can find it. It was a joke. I'll just say it like this. It was a joke. It was a joke. It was just a plain joke. Like the Clintons are jokes. And Epstein didn't kill himself. And Chris's computer didn't freeze by itself. It's all Hillary's fault. It's Hillary's fault. She did it. Dennis says, didn't we have an agreement with Russia not to have NATO in the Ukraine? Dennis, we did, and that's part of the problem because we are basically thumbing our nose at that agreement. We're sticking our finger in his face and telling NATO, put Ukraine in the NATO. Yeah, you're right. That's part of this issue. That's part of this issue. But again, we're provoking that. We're doing that. And it's not fair. And look, if I'm Vladimir Putin, folks, and I'm seeing what the West is doing, I would be a little PO'd myself. And again, I'm not trying to paint him as a choir boy. And there is a lot of things in Russia that's left to be desired. But I will tell you, folks, I've talked to people that live over there, religious, spiritual people, Christians. They've got more freedom for Christianity right now in Russia than we do here in America. And I've been told that by not just a few, but numerous Christians that live over there, that Putin, while the country at large is agnostic and atheist, and the Orthodox Church of Russia, they're really the main state religion there, they're not hauling Christians off into gulags like they used to. They're allowing Christians to express their faith in Russia. At least exercise it. I don't know how they feel about proselyting. You carry a Bible in the streets of Beijing, you're going to get tossed in a concentration camp and you won't be seen again and tortured, as you will in many nations of the earth like that. But in Russia, I mean, from what I understand, at least, the freedom over there is greater than we really even got here right now. To a degree. To a degree. We're doing that. We're doing that. We're doing that. Jake Franchise, personally, we shouldn't be funding wars or giving away money overseas. We have enough issues here in the U.S. And Jake, I could not agree with you more, and that's what makes this stuff so frustrating and so maddening. But I think their idea is that if you go to war, then the military industrial complex that John F. Kennedy warned us about, Eisenhower warned us about it. Others have warned us about it. Trump has warned us about it. That's why Trump kept us out of the wars. They would salivate because in their world of military supply and military funding and all this, that would be a heyday. It would be a bonanza. And yeah, we got a lot of issues here. But in their world, the sick, warped world, to them, a war would bring the economy back. And that's how sick and demented these people are. But your point is well taken. I'm not disagreeing with your point. You're absolutely right. But you're not dealing with normal people here. In a real world, that comment would make absolute sense. And it does make sense to us people out here in the real world. But we don't live in a real world right now. And but to the military industrial complex, they would eat that stuff up. They'd eat that stuff up. I want to thank everybody for coming back with me. I'm sorry for these. I'm sorry for the blip earlier with the tech on that video, folks. But it really divided the show up into two shows. The first show was the memes, the news, and the videos. And this is our Q&A. If you got a question, I'm going to stay here. It's 10:42. I'm going to stay here for about 10 more minutes with you tonight. You got any statements about what's happening in the country? It's good to see everybody. Joanna, thank you. She says she loves the show. Thank you, my friend. Joanne Jones, good to see you tonight. Roger, Dennis, Corey, Anna, Lena, Tyler, Elaine Willard, good to see you. Elaine's the one that gave me the bathtub Jen Chris title last night because we were talking about moonshine. Tracy, good to see you. Liz Goldman, good to see you. Karen, good to see you tonight. Gabriella, you. Susan Beckett. These are all our Facebook friends. Angela Hargrove, good to see you, my dear. So we got a good, solid crowd. Dennis Floyd, good to see you as well, buddy. Good questions. A couple of good questions right there. Any more questions, folks? No, I'm not going to stay here if you ain't got questions. I can call it a night. I just want to give you a chance to chime in. Any statements you got? Any statements you got? Any statements you got? Put them in the house. Any statements you got? This one didn't freeze. I got to play this one more time. This would be Chris asking his grandkids one day whether they listen to the McFiles and whether they listen to the Grandpa Show. This would be one of my grandsons, I'm sure, or one of my granddaughters. But this is Joey Lawrence. I got to play it again. I love this.
Well, when I was up vomiting and all that stuff.
When I was up vomiting.
We like to get them sick early, and then they can kind of grow up with the show.
We get them sick early, and we let you grow up with the show. And y'all have been growing up with me for 7 years. Now, you realize in January we will be 7 years old. I can't believe it. It's awesome, isn't it? And I've been so excited. The Tonight Show lasted 30, so I'm figuring that's 23 years from now. That would put me at 82. And if the Lord grants me that many years, I'll be doing it till then, if not longer. Because I enjoy what I do. I really enjoy what I do. I love being with y'all every night. It's been a good Friday night. Jake says, I try to listen to the McFiles as much as my job will allow when I'm not mandated to work 16-hour shifts. And thank you. Thank you. Kill Zella, thank you. I'm going to read this again before we go out tonight. And it's something good. Kathy Welch, good to see you. Always enjoy it. Thank you for the kind words tonight, folks, and we're grateful for you guys. Hey, I want to read this to you as we close one more time. This is advice not just for this year, but for life. People are always going to be unreasonable, illogical, backbiting, gossiping, and self-centered. Forgive them anyway. If you're kind, people will always accuse you of selfish and unsincere and evil motives. Be kind anyway. If you are successful, you will win some false friends and some true enemies. Succeed anyway. If you're honest and sincere, people will take advantage of that, and they may even deceive you. Stay honest. Stay sincere anyway. When you spend years building something up, someone's going to come and they're going to try to tear it down overnight, just like that. Build anyway. And if they tear it down, build it back again. Don't let them tear it down and not build. Build it back. Build it back. If you find serenity and happiness, people will be jealous. Be happy anyway. Be happy anyway. The good you do today, people will often forget it tomorrow, and they will. People will forget. They always do. Do good anyway. Do good anyway. And finally tonight, give the world your best. You have. And to some people, even the best you've got may not be enough. I encourage you tonight as a close. Give them your best anyway. Folks, listen, we live in a jaded, Glennie McDonald Sims said that this afternoon. She said that with this veteran thing, we've become so jaded and people have lost respect for the military because we live in a jaded society. And she's right. And the world at large is jaded tonight. It really is. It's a jaded society that we live in. It's sad. Our biggest challenge is not just people, but people of faith and Christians, but it's people in general, folks. Our greatest challenge in life is not to let the jadedness of society get inside our realm and our spirit and our heart, and we become like the world. We walk on a higher level and a higher plane of character. Do not let the cynicism of this world and the jadedness of this world get into your arena. Please don't. And I say that in relation to November. There's a lot of people that are cynical and jaded tonight about what happened 4 years ago. And rightly so. But we cannot afford to allow that cynicism to paralyze us into not doing something and not voting. We cannot do it. And many are letting it do it. And they're throwing their towel in and making a mockery of the rights and the freedoms that these men 80 years ago yesterday paid for on that beach of Normandy with their blood and with their life. Give your best anyway. Do good always. Be happy anyway. Build. Build. True people, character people build. False people tear down. People with no character tear down. People with dark hearts tear down. We are builders. Be honest and sincere anyway. Succeed anyway. Be kind to one another out there, folks. The world could sure use a bunch of that tonight. And always walk in forgiveness, knowing that you yourself have been forgiven of many things. And that's why we forgive each other. That's some pretty good McFile advice for a Friday night. Now, compared to Tuesday night, I was Mr. Rogers tonight compared to Tuesday night. So, I think you can survive this, right? So, I hope you enjoyed the week of shows we've had this week. I have sure enjoyed them, and I hope you have too. Save them buildings for burning in November. I'm born with a heart on my sleeve, a fire in my heart, a soul, and a mouth I can't control. I'll amen myself on that one. I better get that one off. I'll get that one off. And for you Canada folks, we apologize for you living in the apartment above a meth lab up there tonight. And your grocery bill is not misinformation. Did you enjoy the show tonight? If you did, put some fire in that house. Put some fire in that house. Good to see everybody on Facebook. And Dennis says he goes back to the popcorn days. Dennis, I miss those popcorn chats. We do the Bible studies in the morning now. So they have replaced the popcorn chats. I like the Bible studies better. But I do need to do the popcorn chat. Maybe we'll do one of those once a month, Dennis. We were doing them every day. It was hard. I was doing 4 shows a day. Would like to kill me back then. We've done better with moderation on the show. I will tell you, folks, as we draw into the summer, we're going to take some days off. We just got to, because come the middle part of this summer into November, we're going to be pedal to the metal on the network. We're going to be pedal to the metal, and so please understand that we'll be here as much as we can. We'll have a full week next week. We've got a conference coming up in Ohio, June 21st, 22nd. We'll give you the details of it Sunday morning meeting time, and fellowship, whatever we call it now, and then Sunday night. Next week, we got such a great lineup. It's unreal. Lori Mills, brand new guest. Professor Nick Giordano, hopefully. Judge Cheryl Lynn Allen. Tom Cooper, a new guest, will be with me. Lori's new. James R. is going to be with me. We may get Jason Miller in the house. James Akers will be back. We're going to try to get Brad. So we got some legal people. And Vijaya from India, Wednesday night, we're going to be showing you what a little network called the McFiles has done in the great nation of India for the kingdom. And we're going to talk about the work of God there. You don't want to miss it. And he's a good guy. Precious brother, and we'll see him Wednesday for our faith chat. All right, listen, I love you. Have a good night, everybody. Be blessed. Sorry again for the blip. We ain't had those in a long time. It's the Clintons' fault. It's the Clintons' fault. That's all I got to say. It's the Clintons' fault. Hillary did it. Hillary cast a spell on the show through Bill. I should have known better than to play something from Bill Clinton, for God's sake. But I did, but we're glad you came back. Those of you that did. Second half. Actually, the third half, because it froze again. It froze twice. But anyway, I'll see you later. And listen, look for us on K-Star Radio. We'll give you details soon. They're working some kinks out there with the technical stuff. But once they get those kinks out, we'll be on the audio part. Have a good night, everybody. Put some fire for a free-for-all Friday on the McFiles. Good night, everybody. Be blessed.